Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today I want to talk about a few instruments that have expanded my mind and my approach to music beyond just the 6 strings of a guitar. These instruments have slowly trickled into the studio, have nestled themselves among my guitar collection, and are ones that I reach for when I need some burst of creativity or infusion of inspiration. That little bit of something to add to a song or a project. They've been useful tools not only to fill out sonic space, but also to slowly evolve this plane of possibility that I have as a guitarist beyond just the 6 strings of an electric or an acoustic guitar. So I'm excited to talk about each of them today. Reverb.com was kind enough to sponsor this video and to send over this Squier Paranormal Jazzmaster 12-string guitar, which we're going to talk about now. It's on a great sale right now. You can pick it up for $2.99 through the Reverb outlet shop, which gives you free shipping and a generous return policy if it doesn't work out for you. I also tried to pick instruments in each of the categories we're going to talk about here that are fairly affordable and approachable, especially if you're shopping for them used. So please hit the affiliate links below for each of the instruments here and browse Reverb's options for those instruments. So the first instrument we're going to talk about is the 12-string, and again, we're focusing in on this Squier Paranormal Jazzmaster 12, which is a really cool example of an electrified 12-string guitar. I've reviewed it on the channel already, so you can find the link to the demo below too if you want to get an in-depth look at the guitar. But what I love about 12 strings is it gives this full, rich, chimey, sparkly timbre and texture that can be a fun layer in a number of different settings. You can obviously hear classic examples of the 12-string sound from artists like Tom Petty or the Beatles, but what I also love about it is you can use it almost like a synth. So a few of the strings here have octaved pairs of strings where you get a lower and a higher octave all in one, and it can be fun to utilize that along with maybe some effects and create some more synthy sounding textures and attacks to your playing. And it again is an instrument that each time I pick it up, I kind of wrestle with it and explore new and different ways to utilize it for unique textures and tones to add to a piece. So we're going to check out some sounds from this Squier Paranormal Jazzmaster 12 here. The next instrument we're going to talk about is the baritone, and this is one that feels like has gained some momentum and some prominence in the industry in the last handful of years. You can think of a baritone in some ways as a down-tuned guitar with a longer scale length and thicker strings. So with each of those elements, you get a different playing experience, a different note attack and texture altogether. You generally tune a baritone to either B or C standard, although there's no strict rules about that, and so it's just a fun way to play around with some lower register tones that still feel like a guitar in your chording and your playing, but fill out a lower register somewhere between that bass frequency and lower rhythm guitar frequencies. A lot of players have gravitated towards baritones for heavier, thicker genres of music. I really love the sound of a baritone in the more Americana or singer-songwriter type genres. It tends to add this bold, almost aggressive presence to what can otherwise be a more delicate type genre and sound. So I think the contrast that it can create in those settings is really beautiful. But again, there's no rules to any of these instruments and the applications or the context you use them in. And so that's part of the fun, is finding where they fit in the sonic space and finding the ways that they can create moments in your playing and your writing to stand out and to create uniquenesses. So this is the Orangewood Del Sol baritone. It is a unique take on the baritone with its semi-hollow construction. You have 2 P90 pickups, which add some warmth overall to the sound. And then there's a phase toggle here that gives you an alternate voicing and kind of tonality to the middle position of this baritone. We're going to hear it now in a context that I absolutely love. I think it pairs beautifully with a good spring reverb and a little bit of tremolo. So let's hear how that sounds now. The third instrument we're going to talk about today is a rubber bridge acoustic, and this is one you've maybe seen as recently as last week on the channel if you're a regular. This is again an instrument and a sound that has gained popularity in the last handful of years with folks like Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers and many others using it on albums. The rubber bridge on these acoustics give it that dull, muted sound, and so you can get some plunky, almost nylon string textures out of the guitar, and oftentimes they're paired with a pickup so you can run them through your pedal board and into some effects to get some cool textures and sounds from it that way. This is a fun instrument to use in lieu of a piano or another instrument that has that attack and a fairly quick decay. That's one of the most unique qualities of the rubber bridge, is that quick decay, so you don't have the sustain and the resonance of a normal acoustic guitar, and you can just have fun finding different contexts or applications for that quick decay, that kind of more staccato type response from the rubber bridge. I like to pair it with some reverbs and delays or some modulation and see how those pair when you have the quick decay of the note. You don't have that lingering sustain of an electric guitar, and just kind of allow the effects to dance and move and dwell in the ways that they will. And so we're going to hear this Orangewood rubber bridge in that context and just kind of see some of the sounds and textures and moods you can create with the rubber bridge guitar here. The last instrument we're going to talk about, and probably the most obvious next step for any guitar player, is a bass. This is a Fender Standard Series precision bass, and I think it's a great option for anyone looking to get into bass or to add a bass to their arsenal. And I think what happens when you start to dig into bass as a guitar player is you begin to kind of understand the whole picture in a little different way, because as I approach bass, at least, I realize it's a lot more of a rhythm instrument than guitar tends to be. Playing bass really requires you to lock into the rhythm of the song and really start to connect with the playing of the drummer. And so as much as I love crafting cool guitar sounds and tones and writing interesting melodies in that world, it's always fun and refreshing and a unique challenge to shift over to bass and to just recalibrate my approach and my mindset by playing the sort of root foundational sounds that hold a piece together, that jive with the rhythm and the drums and the percussion in a way that just adds cohesion and a firm foundation to everything. I think it also really has helped inform my approach to mixing on that side of the process, to really see the different frequency ranges that where each of the instruments fit into, and to really hear how anchoring a good bass tone and a good bass part can be in tandem with the drums to accent and just kind of hold up the rest of the piece. So we're going to hear some sounds from this Standard Series precision bass right into a WA-273 preamp into my DAW to kind of show the simplicity and the relative ease with getting a good classic bass tone. And well, I think this is a good option for players looking to get into an affordable P bass. I don't think it's the only option, and so I hope to down the road do a video that kind of goes through a few different options and a few different basses that I have in the studio here and talk about the similarities and differences, the strengths and weaknesses there as you maybe are approaching buying a bass for the first time. So check back later for that video. Hope to do that sometime in 2026, and let's hear some bass sounds now. So those are 4 instruments that I would recommend to guitarists, not only as added tools in their tool belt, but ones that can spur creativity, that can kind of send you down different lanes and avenues of writing and of creating, that can just broaden your approach to music in general in a way that I think is really helpful as a player at any point in their journey with music. I think the ways that we can step outside of our known and safe and comfortable environments of the 6-string guitar and get into some uncharted territories, challenge ourselves in some ways that we maybe haven't been challenged before. I think it's really good for us as musicians and as writers and creators. So I hope this was a fun exploration of some of my favorite tools to help inspire creativity and broaden my approach to music. Again, thanks to Reverb.com for sponsoring this specific video, and hit the links below if you are shopping for any one of these instruments or other gear around the holidays here. The affiliate links help support the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.